Hello and welcome back to the Project Hercules Diaries. The shed fairies have paid a visit while I was hard at work today and have finished the chain length, cutting the chain to the right length, and the mechanism for adjusting the chain on the dynastart. I say shed fairies, I suppose technically they're now garage fairies because this is the garage and not the shed. Either way, the chain is now the right length. There's a fair bit of tension on that, which is exactly what we want, and the chain adjusting mechanism is just round here. You can see it's an L-shaped bracket that comes off this part of the casing for the dynastart, and there's a long bolt here with an eye on it that just comes off this bolt from the engine plate. There's more of a square section than an eye. Probably want to run a bit of brazing around there, but the rest of the thing works an absolute dream. So well done, Bob, Mr. Chief Shed Fairy. That is a job well done. It needs to be wired up, but certainly there is no issue now with this assembly starting the bike or the bike charging the battery using this as a dynamo, because it's a dynamo and a starter motor. So it needs to be wired up, so I've got to figure out a wiring diagram. The battery box on there is a cardboard box that the battery came in, but it's probably the right place to mount the battery, so that's probably where I'm going to end up mounting the battery, in that recess there on the bike. Other things we have to decide at this point is whether to mount the 4-speed Norton gearbox in here while we start chewing this out and making our own gearbox, because that would be a bit quicker and at least we'd have a bike we can ride, and then later on when we finished our own gearbox we can swap those bits over. But there's still a lot to do with sprockets, chains, final drive, tank, don't get me started, the whole thing, the oil tank, but that's absolutely fine because it's more about the building than the finishing. So I'm absolutely happy with that. It's another step, another job jobbed, and on to the next job on the list, and eventually you'll have a beautiful chop that you can ride around. So that's the update. As usual, thank you for watching. More updates will follow.